What is a developmental approach to leadership and what we call in our books developmental perspectives?
It's fairly complex. And so being complex, those people who know it well will be very upset by the fact that I'm going to simplify it. And those people that don't know it so well will be very upset by the fact that I am going to give too much information. So if I do this correctly, everybody should be upset. But what they will get is a good overview of kind of the developmental approach, which is really interesting because what it does is look at maturity, which we know about from youth through early adulthood, happens all the way throughout our lives. And that maturity, like we think about with young people being rebellious because they're working on their identity. And then as they move into early adulthood, they start to work on relationships and give up that rebelliousness. The same thing continues on. That maturity into later adulthood also has stages and levels and characteristics. And we can apply those stages, levels, and characteristics to leadership. And that's where we're going here. There's been developed a leadership development framework, which has that name for some people and different names for others. It has the stages and levels. We're not going to talk too much about those stages and levels in particular, but a little bit about how I increase my developmental maturity, what the advantages are.
We've talked about leadership development using terms like horizontal and vertical development. For some people, those are terms, and as you said, for others, this is a new construct to explore. So fill us in on what is horizontal, what is vertical, and why do I care?
When we think about horizontal development, we think about broadening what I know. It increases my knowledge. It increases my understanding. It's generally technical information. So when I first started out as a leader, and then I started to get involved in things like PowerPoint or some of the other technologies, those really helped me communicate and understand what I was doing. And they were important horizontal development, understanding and capabilities as I went down in my leadership road. Vertical development is really different because vertical development actually changes our capacity to know and understand. One changes our understanding, but the other changes our capacity to understand. Bob Keegan, who was a thought leader in this area, used an example. He said, horizontal development, it's like filling a glass with water. More and more water really helps. But he said when you do vertical development, it's like going into a completely new glass. It's changing what holds the knowledge and information. So the vertical development, I can think in particular of somebody that I coached who talked about their own vertical development and saying, when I first started my leadership journey, I was learning about all of these tools and things to do. And then later on, I realized that if I wanted to really be effective, I needed to have lunch with people and listen to them and have them get to know me. Because the stuff I was learning wasn't really getting across until we started to relate. That's vertical development. And those sorts of vertical learnings, as I start to mature in the way I make meaning and view the world, that's what we really look at when we talk about an increased maturation.